starting point for that is to question some of the received wisdom that we have. So I think if we look at how we're educated in business schools, in all schools really, we're kind of brought together on the idea that bring smart people together and get them to compete in exams and tests and so on. But actually, when you look at how humans have evolved, the very success of our species has been because we are natural collaborators. We're naturally cooperative and want to help each other out. And in fact, if you look at Robin Dunbar's research, and he's an anthropologist operating out of Oxford, what he shows is that if you look at the size of a species' brain in the animal kingdom and of humans as well, it's largely correlated to the size of their social group. So we have big brains in order to socialise, and that's why we're successful as a species. So certainly the answer is our hardwiring is to cooperate. Well, here's the catch. So while we're hardwired to cooperate and collaborate, we are particularly sensitive to social cues and to our environment. So immediately as you walk into a room, you get lots of cues as to how you should behave, who's around you, and that's a very strong influence on our behaviour. So when you put people in organisations, immediately they're picking up on their context and thinking, how do I succeed here? And most organisations have inadvertently created very competitive environments. So we know we're rated on a performance distribution curve perhaps, we know that we're competing for the next promotion, so suddenly our intuitive behaviours, our instinctive behaviours that are cooperation, are subverted in favour of competition, because that's what we see and that's what we're told by those social cues is the way to go. There are several things organisations can start with. Now the first is to think about who we bring into the organisation. So while we are hardwired to cooperate, some of us are more cooperative and collaborative than others. And it's also a human skill. Collaboration is to an extent a skill. So when we're recruiting people, do we factor that into the recruitment process? Or are we going purely on evidence of individual success? So exam results, previous promotions. The second is, what do we do when we bring people into the organisation? What does the first 30 days look like for a new recruit in your company? What are the signals you give them immediately about how they should behave? Is it competitive or collaborative? The third thing we can think about is how we design work itself. So we know that to collaborate means to take a risk. And one of the themes in the IMI conference today has been about how humans are innately risk averse. We don't want to put ourselves above the parapet. So when we think about how we've designed work to be quite demanding, to be quite stressful, perhaps quite overwhelming, that's certainly not the context in which we're going to take that risk and share our ideas with other people. And then finally, and perhaps the most interesting research in management literature at the moment, is around network analysis. So looking at how information flows throughout our organisation and thinking, okay, where are the bottlenecks? It's not simply that we don't have collaborative organisations, we largely do, but collaboration is centred in some departments and some divisions, and perhaps operating less well in others. Now, network analysis can let us understand how that's operating in our company and take us away from the assumptions point of view, where we have to say, well, we think this team is working well, or we think these individuals are collaborating well, to actually looking at the information and taking that as our starting point.